Welcome back, mages, to the Smiling Minecraft Academy, where our aim is for our lessons to be as quick and efficient as possible. If you enjoyed what you learnt today, leave a boot down below. Hey there, mages. Today's lesson is going to cover a variety of magic items, and we're going to start off with the Amulet of Mana Regeneration. As you can see, when I cast a spell with and without the amulet, my mana regeneration is faster with it. Quite simple. After that is the Amulet of Mana Boost. This increases the size of my mana pool slightly and allows me to cast more spells. We're going to be covering the Belt of Levitation. This is a fun item when placed in your belt slot for curios. Will allow you to hover and fly, moving you up and down. This is great for scaling mountains as it goes off the block beneath you. So if the block beneath you is 4 high, you'll go 5 above it, allowing you to quickly go up and down mountains quite safely. After that, we're covering the Belt of Unstable Gifts. This will give you a random potion effect with random strength. So you can go from strength 1 to regeneration 3, regeneration 2, conduit, speed 3, speed 2, all the positive potion effects. This is quite a fun item as it can randomly increase your speed, randomly cause you to breathe underwater, move faster underwater. It's a lot of fun and can't really rely on potion effects. We're going to be covering the Magic Wand. The wand is a item that you can tie a spell to and increases the spell by 1 amplify. So the base power of the wand is projectile amplify and then whatever else follows. So I'm using split and comparing it to the normal version. After that, we're going to cover the Enchanter's Mirror. The Enchanter's Mirror holds a spell much like the wand, except it only applies self. So it's self amplify. As you can see, I've got speed, so I'm tying a self-speed spell to the Enchanter's Wand. This allows you to increase the amount of spells you might have available to you without going ahead and getting a whole new spell book. The next item on the agenda is the Mage's Armor. There are 3 types of Mage's Armor, going anywhere from Novice to Apprentice to Archmage, and each of them providing a higher level of mana boost as well as higher levels of armor. As you can see, the Novice only increases it by 5 armor, while the Apprentice goes to 7, and the Archmage armor is the equivalent of Diamond armor, maxing out your armor and then also providing the damage reduction. This is very useful for mages at any level as it increases the amount of mana in your spell pool, or in your source pool, mana pool. Next on the agenda is the Void Jar. This allows you to add a list of items to a jar. Anytime you pick those items up, they disappear. You can set the items to what you want and what you don't want with the scribe table, and you can turn it on and off at will. Next here, the agenda is the light in a jar. When you right click with this, it'll turn the light off. When you jump and right click, it'll turn it on. This little light will follow you around. It's very useful for miners while tunneling and you don't want to be placing down torches because it's honestly a waste of coal, and it protects you from mobs spawning in the median area while also providing you light to see. Next on the agenda is the Magic Chalk. This scribes a rune onto the ground, which then use a spell parchment to assign the spell to. It is permanent. So as long as there is a source jar nearby to provide it with source, it'll stay there basically forever until it's broken. Compared that to the Ars Nouveau rune, or the rune augment, where you place a rune and then after it's used it disappears. Next up we have the Enchanters Bow. Much like the wand, you assign a spell to it and it consumes arrows. You can also use spell arrows. I will be using the split harm because having arrows rain down from above is very entertaining. I'd recommend adding a lingering effect at the end of this, so split, linger, harm. That way you can hit every enemy in that AoE, opposed to just trying to hit many with arrows. Next on the agenda is the Enchanter's Sword. Much like the Enchanter's Bow and the wand and the mirror, you assign a spell to it, and then whenever you hit an enemy with the sword, it casts that spell. And we're of course going for the Yeet spell, which is Yeet Amplify 8. It just throws enemies into the air. Honestly, a lot of fun, but it casts the spell whenever you hit an enemy with it. Next up on the list is Reactive Enchantment. With the Reactive Enchantment, you enchant an item with React and a spell. So I'm going with Self Heal, put the 3 amplifiers in to create the Reactive Enchantment, and now that armor has that spell, so whenever you get hit, there is a chance that spell is cast. For the example, I've summoned a bunch of zombies with the armor on, and whenever I get hit, there is a chance that I get health back. You can make this a lot stronger, you can add shield, you can amplify the amount of health, so when you get hit, you go full health opposed to just the few hearts that I'm getting here. Next on the itinerary is the cost reduce rings. So there's lesser rings of discount and greater rings of discount. This is a very cheap spell that I amplify later, but having the rings of discount allows me to cast it for free without expending a lot of mana because of how much these spells' mana cost is reduced. Certain spells, very small spells, usually without amplify, can be cast for free with 2 lesser rings of discount, and with greater rings of discount it allows you to do more for less, allowing you to cast some spells for free. If you learned something from today's lesson, enroll below to learn some more.